Hola Wafethu, this is your boy number producer from Landu, Ulazi and VSOP. Today we're going to do a breakdown of a song in an upcoming album. We're going to break down the mixing of the beat only, then do vocals, then everything together, and then finally master the beat. Danko. I just want everyone to hear how muddy it sounds with the vocals. We're not going to do the vocals right now, it's just going to be the beat. But I just want you to understand the difference between the beginning product and the final product, where we're starting and where we're going to end. Vocals, no effects at all, no EQ, no reverb, nothing. It's just everything there on the channel.
Baby, oh baby, ngita tekile by you. Baby, oh baby, forever, baby, I'll be on fire, never leave you, and I'll hold you tight. Forever, baby, I'll be on fire.
So you can hear with the vocals, everything just sounds on top of each other. It doesn't sound nice. The loops as well. Shakers are screaming. The textural, it's kasi, ultra bassy, ultra high. Down the street. So we'll start, what I usually do is start with the shakers and the loop. So we've got 2 loops on 1 and 2. What you want to do is decrease the highs or control the highs, for lack of a better word, so that everything sounds more balanced. Already it sounds way better than it was sounding before. Then we'll do the second one and then balance out the volumes. And because now both samples or loops have a kick, we'll at least eliminate one kick so that now the kicks aren't fighting on top of each other. So when you're mixing, you always want to create space in between everything that you're doing. So for example, this loop will just have a shelf for it to remove the bass, the kick, let me not say the bass, the kick. And then the other one will leave the kick as is. This is how it will sound. This one, Elanco background, just have a bit of reverb on it, just to make it sound like it's covering a lot more space in the background. Not too much, just a bit. Okay, that's still a bit much. I'll put it at 44 at least, mixing level. Then from there we'll go to where the piano starts playing, the keys, and mix that as well. So that's on channel 10. As you can see, there's no EQ or anything, but now we're gonna put in EQ. Oh, by the way, we're gonna use stock plugins for everyone to be able to understand and do this at home as well, because some people might not have the certain plugins that I'd be using. So as you can see, there's a whole lot of bass in this area, and you want to get rid of that because it's keys. It's not really a bassy instrument. You want to open up space for when the bass comes in, and that's what mixing is all about. You want to create space for other elements to play there. You can't have, let's say, in a room that holds 100 people, have 200 people. You're trying to create space for everyone to have a role to play and participate in within the whole song, and balance everyone so that everyone has an important role, plays their role, but at the same time, no one is overpowering the other person. Everyone is at the same level. And that's why we'll play with the EQ and volume a lot. Like you can see here, this is where your bass usually plays around, and keys is right about your mid-high. So you wanna minimize or put a shelf or cancel out the bassy part because it doesn't add anything. We're gonna put a bit of stereo separation on it as well, just so it sounds wider. We're gonna move on to the next section of the song where now we've got 2 more loops. Now we have to control those ones and their highs so that they don't overpower everything. And I'll just single them out so you can hear each one of them. You can hear that loop just adds a bit of groove to the song, not too much. So you don't want it to overpower everything else. You just want to control it that, okay, we can hear this is a new section of the song, but it mustn't now play above everything else. We're also removing the bass. We've already got our kick playing that part in the other loop that we chose. Now it's just controlling the highs of it. And this is a very, very basic way of mixing for anyone who's making a song. I'm not gonna overcomplicate it or anything. And now we do the other loop, which is this loop as well. That's also a shaker. It's adding a lot of highs and mid-highs. We're going to control it as well by EQing the highs. Also EQing out the bass part, creating as much space as possible for our lock drum and our bass. As you can see, I lifted up the mid just to get a bit of more feel and sound out of the percussion, specifically in this loop, because you can't really hear it that much. So you can boost it up a little just to get a bit of more feel in it. Perfect. And now we go to the next sound that I have consolidated. As you can hear, that's a piano. It's from a plugin called Alicia Keys' Piano on Contact 7. And if you can pay for it, amazing, get it. It really sounds amazing. It just adds a different texture to the song. And again, same thing, we were going to go through the EQ. There's nothing as important as an EQ go mixing. Watch any mixing video that you want to watch. There's nothing as important as an EQ, because now you're creating space, you're placing different instruments in areas that they need to play or where they shine the best in. So you can see here that it's a low sounding, it plays a lot in the lower register, giving it more bass and feel. So what we want to do is not EQ out too much of it. Anything in this area, most of the time you won't really hear in speakers on in a car or on your headphones or whatnot, so it's unnecessary to have there. But since it's playing a lot in this register, we just want to control the sound of it and how much we're getting out of it. Notice how I'm putting a filter here where I'm shelving out the highs, because there's not really much highs that this plugin is giving us, so the sound is giving us. We're opening space for the shakers to play there, because we don't want all the highs now, they're playing in the highs and it just sounds horrible to the ear. Now let's hear how it sounds with the piano. This is where we're going to play with the volume a bit to figure out, do you want to hear more of the keys? Do you want to hear more of the Rhodes piano giving the warmth? It all depends on your ear and what you prefer. I think the piano is bright. I feel I'll take the volume down of the piano. Just give more volume or the space for the Rhodes to hold the brightness of that piano in the middle of the song, if you get what I'm saying. This is my favorite part, where now we get to play with the bass. I added a few percussion as well, not too much. Let's play around with that before we start EQing the bass. So you can see channel 5 and 9 are where that percussion is sitting. We can already hear that this one is too high, so we'll play around with the volume until we find a nice, suitable level that will sound good to the ear, not too loud, not too soft. We can still hear it, but it's playing gently in the background. We'll EQ it, maybe as well add a bit of reverb just to bring it back into the mix as well, because that's what reverb does. A lot of people use reverb just in because it sounds nice. Reverb is actually there to place a sound into a mix, whether you want it up front or you want to move it a bit back into the mix. I think this is a roundabout good level for it. I don't know what you think. Now it's just to EQ it and do the same for the other one. We're probably going to remove the lower register, which is the bassy part. Percussion usually plays around low, mid, high. As you can see, I lifted it up in the mid just to give it a bit of more presence into the mix, and then we'll just add a bit of reverb just to put it just a bit back into the mix. Put a bit of stereo separation. This should be fine. A bit of dampness just to make it sound. You know what damp means. Damp is like a cloth that is not really wet but not dry. Just to make the sound a bit, maybe let's say airy a bit, and then give a bit of size to the room of the dampness of that specific sound. You'll hear it as I do it, as I play it. We're gonna do the same thing for the sound. We want a bit of separation. And this is how I generally mix all the time as I mix. I'm not doing anything new. So you saw with the other percussion sound, we're playing around the mid, that's why I boosted it. This one I'm boosting it in more of the high mid. I'm lowering the mid so that one can shine in the mid, this one shines the side. Like I said in the beginning, we're creating space for everyone to shine in a room. It's like a band. You want everyone, if we're not playing as a collective, then might as well get off stage, because this one wants to shine, that one is doing their own thing, and it just becomes a mess. So it's about controlling everything so it sounds harmonic, it sounds uniform, it sounds great to the ear. Now I'm starting to think the high is still too high, so we'll lower that a bit more. Now for the bass, this is how it sounds. There you go, that's the bass for you. And you can see it's already playing in the slower register here, the bass, the sub bass. And that's where you want to EQ it. You want to EQ off the frequencies that you're not really going to hear. That's just, how can I explain it? Empty space. You're not going to hear it on your phone, you're not going to hear it in your car, you're not going to hear it in your headphones. Usually that frequency, you'll probably get it on sound that is high quality sound, but no one really, you're mixing for everyone else and you're not taking a lot out of it, because if you cut too much, you can't really hear any bass. You just want to cut off the frequencies that are there but for no use. They're not doing anything, to just clean the song up a bit. You know what I'm saying? We're going to add a second EQ as well. You saw with the first one, there are parts where the peak frequencies within the sub section are a bit too high. You just want to control them. You don't want it when it's playing in the car, it sounds too high. You want to control it as well. So that's where we'll add a second EQ and then just lower those peaks a bit to control it a bit more. You want to switch on things individually while you're mixing. You want to isolate, deal with that problem, however you want it to sound. From there is switching on sounds one by one to hear if what you just mixed, for now, it's the bass line, right? Does it sit well within the mix? Does it disappear into the mix? Is it too present? And what do you do after that? If it's sitting in the mix, perfect. We are happy with that. We want everything to sit properly within the mix. You don't want me next thing I'm sitting on top of this chair, it looks weird. You want me to feel relaxed within the mix. You can see I'm sitting within the chair. I'm relaxed, and that's what you want with every sound there. You don't want me, and now I'm all up in your face. Now it's like, your number, Joe. Yeah, I'm around, Joe. That's a camera, no. Like now you're inside the camera. You understand what I'm saying? You want it to be like, okay, we've got this whole view that's beautiful. So let's carry on with the mixing process. I don't like how that loop is a bit too loud. It's a bit too loud. Lower the volume and find the right level. By the way, mixing is according to your guys' ear. Don't follow everything step by step as if it's the only way to mix. People mix differently. This is just a guideline on how to make your song sound audible, to sound overall in general, just to sound nice, just to sound good when you're playing it on your phone, on earphones, or in a car, or even at a gig if you're a DJ. Notice how I take it to an extreme level to hear which sound I'm playing around with, and then lower it until I feel that, okay, it's sitting right. That's how I mix. Remember, when you're mixing, you're also thinking of the final stage of mastering, where now we bring up all the levels and make it sound wider and brighter. But we'll get to that at the end. A lot of people don't usually EQ their ice crash, which is very funny. They just leave it like, you need a bit of EQ, right? And then let's come to the next section of the song. Here, these two are loops. Obviously, they've got highs. Obviously, they've got mids. They've got lower frequencies that we need to cancel out. Maybe we like the mids. We'll give it a bit more presence. We want to lower the highs because we don't want it to sound inaudible or too much in the ear. This is the bass line. We're going to deal with that after. From there, we've also got here, these are more keys, just to add to the feel of the bass line or the song in general, just to give it more presence, more warmth, because a lot of people struggle. They make a beat, they make a song, and it's nice, but you can hear that, okay, no, there's something that is still missing. Mushota something, whether it's more pads or whatever, it just sounds too empty. And that's what we're trying to do here, just to fill up those empty spaces with more sounds, to give it more presence, more warmth, or emphasizing certain instruments within the song. Let's start with these. I'll play them, not mixed, and then we'll isolate, mix individually, and then play together. That's the process. I actually like the highs of this loop, so I'm just gonna boost it a bit just to hear it and get a feel of it more, but then lower the volume of it. Let's listen to the other loop. I'm gonna switch off the one that I mixed now. We got rid of the bass frequencies, maybe a bit of the mid, maybe a bit of the highs, but you can still hear that it's still grooving. Now it's just the volume levels now with the other one. I like it there. Let's come here. This sound is from Analog Lab 5. It's a sound called Earth's Pulses. It's a pad. And then what I did to it, I also added gross beat on it, sidechain, just to make it sound like it's taking a break. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know how you usually hear on those Afro 3-step what songs, house songs, just to give it a bit more groove. So this is how it sounds. We're going to EQ it as well. So you see how I'm playing around with the high mid. If you want to hear that airiness, or if you want it to sound more warm in between, we'll just lift up the low mid. Do we want the high as well, the high mid? It's all dependent on you. Do you like it? You don't like it? If you don't like it, you'll take it away. If you like it, take it up. I mean, you're not going to necessarily do that and take it up all the way, but you want to take it up to a level that sounds about right, not too much to the ear. Yeah, I think that's where I like it. I like the high sound. It just gives it an extra open feel. Then we're just gonna go to the bass, the intro bass line, which is here, and the bass line is the same. It's just now we adding the log drum. And what I like to do is layer the log drums. Usually is Spanisa log drum, say 2, 3, 4. And with sounds, if you want to sound unique, I also advise layering different sounds and then EQing them, balancing them out to find the right sound or the right level for the certain sound that you're trying to create. You hear how that log drum, the second one, it sounds a bit more quiet. It sounds more closed in. It's just to give the bass a boost. Then we've got the first one where it makes the bass line sing more. I'll switch off the second one and switch on the first one so you can hear what I'm talking about, and then exchange between the two so you understand. So now it's just balancing out the volumes again, as well as EQing both of them. We're isolating log drum or playing it with the bass. From there, we play around with the volume in accordance with the whole mix. Then we do the same thing with the first log drum. Buffett, don't forget to save, ne? Never forget to save because, hey, now we're going to mix the second one. Oh no, the volume. We also wanted to sound a bit punchy. We're going to add a second EQ. We are going to lift up the bass part just to give it an extra punch. Now we're going to do the first one, then we're going to play them together. So since this one is singing a bit more, it's got a more knockier sound, depending on how you want it. If you want your log drum to sing more, to knock more, you're obviously going to lift up your low mids. If you feel like it's too much, you're knocking, you can EQ it down a bit. Or you can play around with the log drum itself in the Fruity DX10 and play around with the knobs according to how you want it to sound. I like it like that. I don't want it to knock too much. I want you to sing it, but don't overplay your role. Now we're gonna play it together. Okay, I like both of them. They sound fine. Let's play it with the whole mix. See, it sounds nice. I believe the sounds are balanced. Now that you've mixed everything, your pad, your keys, percussion, loops, whatever that you have in the beat, this is the final process of beat mixing where I've isolated, I've done what I wanted to do. Now it's just adding the few things that you want to add. Whether now you want to add a bit of delay on something, whether you want to add a bit of reverb on something, you play it all together and just listen as well to volumes of everything. Do I like how everything is sounding together right now? Is there something I need to EQ a bit more? Is the loops, shakers too high? Another secret, I just remembered as I'm talking to, another secret how to control highs within a loop is this way. Let me just loop this part and I'm going to show you. This is how you do it. Mod Y fully down and then mod X, you just play around with it. And that's how you do it. You see, the more you lift up mod Y, it gives in that high. So I usually put it fully down. And then I play with the X where it's like now just controlling it a bit more. That's another way of doing it. And you're still going to EQ as well. So let's just listen to it for the last time and just let's play around with the volumes and see what do we need to, if there's anything we need to change, if there's anything we want to decrease or increase, if we want to pan things to the right, to the left. It's all up to you and what you feel sounds nice or what you like but in a controlled environment. No, you can't say, I like bass, now full volume bass. Ilo dladiwa kae? I think I like how it sounds. You saw as I was playing through the whole song, I was just playing around with volumes, just final touches. Okay, that sounds a bit loud. What I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna switch off all the effects so you can hear where we started and where we are now. Mind you, the volumes are now placed around, so in terms of volume and how loud and how low everything is sounding, it's still going to sound the same. It's just now you need to develop the skill of listening intentionally to, is there space for these different sounds that I'm using? Are they sitting in the right spaces? Right now, volume is fine. Listen to the extra detail. I don't know if you guys can hear it. One, things are sounding high, especially when it comes to the bass line. When those other two loops come in, I can hear it. It's not nice. It's sounding a bit too harsh. Let's hear in the beginning. It's not too bad, and this is just the basic thing. You'd probably hear more of a difference if it was if we had, like, let's say 80 channels of just percussion. You'd start to hear a lot of the stuff starting to fight with each other. I wanted to keep it as basic as possible so that you understand what the task is and not me trying to overcomplicate it with a huge project where it's like, okay, yo, dog, you're doing too many things. So now I'm going to play it with the effects so you can hear, okay, there's a bit of more space now. Things are sitting nicely within the mix. The first thing I heard, lows are controlled. You might even say it sounds a bit muffled now, but that's where we fix it when you've mixed everything and now it's time to master. Remember, mastering is you bringing up the levels of everything so that it's heard, so that it can be played on different digital streaming platforms. It can be played on different phones or multimedia devices, and it sounds the same. Mixing is getting the volumes right, creating space. Mastering is now bringing everything up, now making it come alive. If it sounds a bit muffled up, we fix it in mastering. You heard as I switched off the effect, now it becomes, you might say, yeah, it sounds brighter now. But now, what happens when you come to when it comes to mastering? It's gonna be harsh in your ear when you're listening to it on headphones, full volume. So you wanna control that. I hope you guys can hear the difference. I'll just play it one more time so you can hear with the effects how controlled it is. Stay tuned for the next video. I hope what I did was helpful. I hope it wasn't too boring to anyone. I hope it was insightful, and that these are certain things that you can apply to the way you mix your songs. It's very simple. People overcomplicate it. Yes, on a larger scale, there would be more sounds. There would be more stuff to EQ. But I just want you to get a basic level of understanding of, okay, I want the highs to sound lower. This is what I do. I want the mids to sit more in the mix. This is what I do. I want them to become more present. This is what I do with the EQ. This is what I do with the reverb to put it into the mix or bring it back into the mix, type of thing. You apply the same rules that I have applied, the same principles into that bigger project, and it's literally going to be the same process. And then in the next video, we are going to move on to vocal mixing to make sure that the vocals now sit within the mix that we just did now.